guys, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below, people. Now today's video is all about weak spots. Basically, when I say weak spots, I'm referring to areas of our hair that are more prone to damage, thinning, and even at the extreme becoming bald in those areas. The reason why I wanted to do this video, I think it's a really important subject in regards to hair care, because there are so many women that have weak spots for prolonged periods and don't actually know why. One, they have it, and two, how to cure the weak spot. So this video will just basically cover those subjects, so I hope you enjoy it, people. So guys, I just wanted to give you some details about the weak spots that I have. I'll start with that. Now my weak spots are my temples, both of them, and basically I used to have a weak spot here. This was basically created by over manipulation. So when I used to be stressed, I used to basically rub this part of my hair, and over time it began to break and then became very thin. As you can see, my hair is pretty thick, so it's obvious when I have a thin spot. Now the sides, basically, I didn't know were very prone to breakage or thinning until one time I actually got a weave put in, and these areas here became very thin afterwards. It took me quite a while to get them back on track, but then I did realize that those areas alone are very prone to being weak and to basically breaking. So what I do is generally don't really tie my hair up, because it's based on basically friction why my hair, and basically tightness why my hair can break in these areas. So I tend to not pull my hair up that often. So I may wear my hair out 1 or 2 times a week. The rest of the times of the week I wear my hair out like this. And also I do pay particular attention to these areas, so I make sure that they're well greased, that there's not too much friction, that I'm not pulling them up, just to basically ensure that they don't go thin. And as you can see, they are fully healthy, people. So let's move on to the reasons why you may get a thin spot. Now, thin spots could arise from, or weak spots could arise from, over processing. That's one of the main reasons if you are relaxed. If you're natural, of course, that may not be the reason why. So over processing, where sometimes what will happen after repeated relaxers, you can over process an area. Now, one of the common ways you can over process an area is by always starting your relaxer at a specific spot. So some people like start their relaxer here or start it back here, and those areas can become over processed because they are actually being processed for the longest while your hair's relaxing. And if this is done over a long period of time, your hair can become weak and break, and even, as I said, at worst, become bald. Now, one of the other reasons could be hormonal. It could just be like I had postpartum shedding. Hormonal shedding and weak spots that become thin or bald, there's really not much you can do about it. Your hair will have to go back into the process, shedding and coming back again. It's usually something you just kind of have to wait out. It rarely goes bald, but your hair will go a lot thinner, and then it will just thicken back up. Other hormonal reasons can be if you're taking the pill or you have a hormonal imbalance. But if you do feel that your weak spots or any baldness or weakness in your hair is due to hormones, it's always best to seek the advice of a doctor or physician, whichever country, and I don't know which one would be more relevant to you, but it would be to get medical advice and for them to actually look at your hair and give you the appropriate treatment. Now, one of the other reasons is tension. So basically pulling up your hair too much. That tends to be around the front, so you can develop tension alopecia, and if you pull your hair out repeatedly, that can be a massive problem. Your hair can start to break, get thin, and it's a kind of problem that can persist in a lot of women, and they still continue to wear their hair out, which isn't good. And you need to find alternative hairstyles where your hair is not getting so much tension on it. Another reason why you can have weak spots is basically just not taking care of your hair. If you're not taking care of your hair and your hair already has areas that are prone to be weak, those are the ones that are going to show first. Those areas are going to show that you're not taking care of your hair first and foremost, and then it will kind of graduate onto the rest of your hair. So if you feel it's just a hair care regime issue, then what you need to do is look at your hair type, look at the porosity level of your hair, look at how often you're washing your hair, look at the chemicals you're putting on your hair, and basically try and alter that. And that may actually help in basically remedying that. As I stated at the beginning, there are areas of your hair that sometimes are just not as strong and not as thick as the rest of your hair, and that's just perfectly normal. All of us have areas, like the back of my hair is so much more thicker than the front. That's just ultimately normal. and there may be areas that don't look as thick. As I said, especially as I've got thick hair, you can really see if an area is a bit thinner. It may just be how your hair is, how your hair actually grows, and that's nothing to really pay urgent attention to, basically. So as I said, it's not really a weak spot. It could just be an area that basically doesn't perform at the same level as the rest. So guys, let's look at some of the remedies. As I said, when it's down to neglect of your hair, it's always good to put in place a hair regime. So it's also important to, what you need to do is have a routine in which you, say for example, wrap your hair at night, oil your hair, put treatments on your hair. All those things can enhance. Also, even the hair products that you use, sulfate-free shampoos basically don't really strip your hair as much. They're really kind on the hair, and that could enhance your hair's health. So you need to look deeply into why your hair is not performing well because of your hair routine. Look at your hair type and basically implement a new hair care regime and see if that helps. Now, as I said, if it's down to hormones, you have to visit a physician or a doctor. If it's down to tension, then you need to basically stop putting tension on your hair. One of the things that can thicken up your hair as well is if it's down to tension, if you've got really bad split ends and it's breaking at the front, to get a haircut. That's one of the things, because basically there are sometimes times that your hair is so damaged that you just need a haircut and some intensive treatments to repair it. It's something you should definitely consider. I know sometimes, ladies, you don't really want to cut off your hair because you spent so much time growing it, but you have to look at the all-around health, people. And basically having nice long hair doesn't really count if you've got areas that can basically you have to cover up, or they're a bit bald, or they're thinning, because that's not meaning that you're caring for the overall health. So guys, as I said, my weak spots are my temples and this area here, which is basically due to over manipulation. So that's another thing that I wanted to address. Sometimes we constantly comb a specific area or touch a specific area constantly, and it just basically acts like erosion. You're basically constantly doing this on the hair, which is not good in any way, shape or form. Now, if it's due to over manipulation, just try and calm down on touching that area. Basically try and calm down on touching your hair all over. Make sure that part of your hair is taken care of, but outside of that, try not to touch it. Try not to over brush it less, or try not to comb it as much, try not to pull it back as much. All those kind of things are really important. So again, guys, if it's due to over manipulation, try to lessen your time of manipulating that part of your hair, because as I said, we can have certain parts where it kind of be like this, scratch that area, rub that area, kind of pull that area or brush that area more, and that area can be prone to thinness. I have said in my other video as well, that in a previous video actually, that basically we can get thin areas due to having the same style parting. People, please change your partings on a regular basis, because this area can become overexposed while the rest is covered, and basically that can be prone to damage, and that can become your weak spot. So again, as I've said previously, alternating your partings on a regular basis, even if it's once a month, can be really helpful. Now guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.